Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ma'am. Today we are going to present a report of Group 5. Contents of petition. A petition for parole executive clemency shall state the name of prisoner, his or her age, previous criminal record if any, whether a Filipino citizen or an alien, and if a naturalized Filipino, his former nationality and date of naturalization, his previous occupation, the place of residence, present crime for which he was convicted, the trial appellant court, his penalty imprisonment, fine, indemnity, and the commencing date thereof, the jail or prison to which he was committed and where is presently confined, the date he was received for confinement, the ground upon which executive clemency is being asked, certificate from the trial court that his case is not on appeal. Then, a petition for parole or executive clemency is a formal request asking the President to reduce or forgive a prison sentence. Siyempre, this request must include the unang-una yung the prisoner full name, then their age, the past criminal record if any, then if they are Filipino or foreigner, their job before going to jail, for example, construction worker or tricycle driver, then where they live before, saan sila nakatira, the crime they were convicted of, for example, theft or murder, then which court handled the case, if the regional trial court or municipal trial court, then the punishment given, if jail time, fines, etc., and the prison where they are now, the date they are entered prison, then the reason why they are asking for clemency, certification from the court that the case is not being appealed anymore. So, in addition to the above mentioned data, a petition for absolute pardon shall be under oath, shall include the date the petitioner was released from prison after service of sentence or release on parole, pardon, or terminated from probation. If they are asking for an absolute pardon, they must also swear under the oath and say when they were released from jail, parole, or probation. Supporting document of petition for absolute pardon. The petition for absolute pardon shall be accompanied by the affidavits of at least 2 responsible members of the community where the petitioner resides. The affidavits shall, among others, state that the petitioner has conducted himself in a moral and law-abiding manner since his release from prison, and shall indicate the petitioner occupation and his social activities, including religious involvement. So, when a person applies for absolute pardon, they must prove that they have changed and are now living a good, law-abiding life. To do this, they need to submit the following supporting documents. So, number 1, the affidavit from 2 responsible communities member. These are some statements from the 2 respected people in the community, like barangay official, the church leader, teacher, or employer. The affidavit must confirm that the petitioner has lived a moral and law-abiding life since being released from prison. Include the details about the petitioner's current job, social involvement, and especially any religious activities. Then, prove that the petitioner is trusted and respected in the community. And next, the clearance from the National Bureau of Investigation, the Philippine National Police, the Prosecutor Office, the Municipal Circuit Trial Court, the Municipal Trial Court, the Municipal Trial Court in cities, the Metropolitan Trial Court, and the Regional Trial Court where the petitioner resides. Clearance from the government office, the petitioner must obtain official documents showing that they have no criminal cases or pending investigation. this clearance must come from the NBI, National Bureau of Investigation, PNP, Prosecutor Office, all courts in their places residence, the municipal trial court, municipal trial court in cities like that, and the others. Then third, proof of payment of indemnity and or fine in lieu thereof, certification from the city's municipal treasurer of provision and parole officer on his financial condition. Then in number 3, the proof of payment or certification of financial condition. If the person was ordered to pay a fine for indemnity, like money for damage, they must show the official receipt of full payment, or if they could not pay due to poverty, submit a certificate from the city municipal treasurer or provision officer explaining their financial situation. Then last, the number 4, proof of service of sentence or certificate of final release and discharge or court termination order of probation. Here, the proof that the sentence is complete. The petitioner must submit official proof that they fully served their sentence. This can be a certificate of final release and discharge, usually from the Bureau of Correction or Parole and Probation Administration, or the court order officially ending their probation period. Next, referral petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. Referral of petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. Upon receipt of a petition for absolute pardon, the board shall refer the petition to probation and parole officer, who shall conduct an investigation on the conduct and activities as well as the official and economic condition of the petitioner prior to his conviction and his release from prison, and submit a report thereof within 15 days from receipt of the referral. The referral of petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. The next, referral petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. Referral of petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. Upon receipt of petition for absolute pardon, the board shall refer the petition to the probation and the parole officer, who shall conduct an investigation on the conduct and activities as well as the social and economic condition of the petitioner prior to his conviction and since his release from prison, and submit a report thereof within 15 days from receipt of the referral. So, the referral of petition for absolute pardon to probation and parole officer. When the board kapag nakatanggap ng Board of Pardons and Parole ang petition para sa absolute pardon, hindi ito agad mabibigyan, sa halip na ipapasa muna ito sa probation and parole officer para imbestigahan at suriin. The probation and parole officer is responsible for checking and evaluating. Number 1, pag-uugali at pamumuhay ng petitioner bago siya nahatulan. The behavior and lifestyle of the petitioner before they were convicted. Then number 2, the changes in behavior and activities after they were released from the prison. And last, the current social and financial condition of the petitioner, the employment, family life, living situation. Then this officer must complete and submit a full report to the board within 15 days after receiving referral. The report helps the board decide fairly and wisely if the petitioner truly deserves an absolute pardon. Next,
other circumstances. When none of the extraordinary circumstances enumerated in Section 3 exist, the Board may be nonetheless review and or recommended to the President the grant of executive clemency to an inmate provided the inmate meets the following minimum requirements of imprisonment. For commutation of sentence, the inmate should have served at least 1/3 of the definite or aggregate prison term, at least 1/2 of the minimum of the indeterminate prison term or aggregate minimum of the indeterminate prison term, at least 10 years for inmate sentenced to 1 reclusion perpetua or 1 life imprisonment for crimes offenses not punished under the Republic Act number 7659 and other special law. At least 13 years for inmates whose indeterminate and or definite prison term were adjusted to a definite prison term, or 40 years in accordance with the provision of Article 7 of the Revised Penal Code as amended. At least 15 years for inmates convicted in heinous crimes offenses as defined in Republic Act number 7659 or other special law committed on or after January 1, 1994 and sentenced to 1 reclusion perpetua or 1 life imprisonment. At least 18 years for inmates convicted and sentenced to reclusion perpetua imprisonment for violation or life of Republic Act number 9165, also known the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002. And for kidnapping for ransom or violation of the laws, terrorism, plunder, and transnational crimes. At least 20 years for inmates sentenced to 2 or more reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment, even if their sentence were adjusted to the defined prison term of 40 years in accordance with the provision of Article 70 of Revised Penal Code as amended. So dito naman for conditional pardon, the prison shall have served at least 1/2 of the minimum of his original indeterminate and or definite sentence. However, in case of prisoner who is convicted is a heinous crimes as defined in Republic Act number 7659 and other special law, he shall serve at least 1/2 of the maximum of his original indeterminate sentence before his case may be reviewed for conditional pardon. For conditional pardon, an inmate should have served at least one of his or her 1/2 of the maximum and the original indeterminate and or definite prison term. For absolute pardon, the pardon may consider the petition for absolute pardon even before the grant of final release and discharge under the provision of Section 6 of Republic Act number 4103 as amended when the petitioner A is seeking the appointive elective public position in reinstatement in the government service. B. Need a medical treatment abroad which is not available locally. C. Will take any government examination or is immigrating. So dito naman sa last, review of case for parole unless otherwise disqualified under Section 15 of these rules. A case of parole of a prison shall be reviewed upon showing that is confined in prison or jail to serve an serve as in determined sentence, the maximum period of which exceed 1 year pursuant to a final judgment of conviction, and that he has served the minimum period of said sentence.
Eligibility for review of parole case. An inmate case may be eligible for review by the board provided BPP Resolution number 24410. A. Inmate is serving in undeterminate sentence the maximum period of which exceeds 1 year. Sinasabi dito that the inmate must have a sentence exceed 1 year or more than 1 year. Kung eksakto o mas mababa pa dito, they cannot apply o qualify sa parole. B. inmate has served the minimum period of the indeterminate sentence. B. Sinasabi naman dito, the inmate must have already served the minimum time of their sentence. Example, the sentence is 2 to 5 years. They must finish the 2 years. Kung 1 year lang, they cannot apply yet. C. Inmate conviction is final and executor. In case the inmate has one or more co-accused who have been convicted, the director or warden concerned shall forward their prison records and carpetas, jackets at the same times. Sinasabi naman dito sa C, the court decision is final. No more appeal or changes. So, if the convicted is still appealing, hindi siya pwede mag-apply ng parole. At kung dalawang tao ang nag-commit ng crime, dapat ipasa agad ng sabay. D. Inmate has no pending criminal case. Sinasabi naman dito sa D, wala nang dapat pending na kaso ang inmate na to. Wala nang kasunod na crime case bago mag-apply ng parole. E. Inmate is serving sentence in the National Penitentiary unless the confinement of said inmate in a municipal city, district, or provincial jail is justified. Sinasabi naman dito sa E, dapat sinerve na ng inmates ang kaso niya in National Penitentiary, maliban kung may valid reason siya na pwede sila sa city jail. Like overcrowding yung national prison, o may sakit siya na kailangan dialysis. Then he must stay in a municipal jail na malapit sa hospital. Pero kung walang good reason, the parole may be denied. Grant of parole. A prisoner may be granted parole whenever the board finds that there is a reasonable probability that if released, he will be law-abiding, that his release will not be incompatible with the interest and welfare of the society. Sinasabi dito na prisoner may be granted parole kung ang board ay naniniwala na hindi nagagawa ng crime ang isang inmate, na magiging law-abiding citizens na siya in the future. Disqualification for parole. Pursuant to Section 2 of Act No. 4103, as amended, otherwise known as the Indeterminate Sentence Law, parole shall not be granted to the following inmates. PPP Resolution No. 24410. A. Those convicted of offenses punishable by death penalty of life imprisonment. Ito naman yung mga serious crimes na commit which lead to death penalty or life imprisonment like murder. B. Those convicted of treason, conspiracy, or proposal to commit treason or espionage. Ito naman yung mga inmates na betraying our country like sharing military secrets to an enemy country. C. Those convicted of misprision, treason, rebellion, sedition, or coup d'etat. Parehas naman to sa letter B, like helping rebels to a plan to overthrow to government. D. Those convicted of piracy or mutiny on the high seas or Philippine water. Ito naman yung mga attacking ships na sakop ng Pilipinas or Philippine water. E. Those who are habitual delinquents. Example, those who are within a period of 10 years from the date of release from prison or last conviction of the crime of serious or less serious physical injuries like robbery, theft, estafa, and falsification, or found guilty of any side of the crime a third time or offender. Ito yung nagiging habit na ng gumawa ng crime, like 3 times na gumawa ng crime in 10 years. F. Those who escape from confinement or evaded sentence. Ito yung mga tumakas sa jail o sa kaso nila. G. Those who have been granted conditional pardon by the President of the Philippines shall have violated any of the terms thereof. Ito naman yung mga break na yung rule of the presidential pardon. Gumawa ulit siya ng crime. H. Those whose maximum term of imprisonment does not exceed 1 year or those with definite sentence. Ito yung mga short sentence lang. Example, 1 year below. I. Those convicted of offenses punished with reclusion perpetua or whose sentence were reduced to reclusion perpetua by reason of Republic Act No. 9346 enacted on June 24, 2006, amending Republic Act No. 7659 dated January 1, 2004. Ito naman yung convicted of punished with reclusion perpetua panghabang buhay na pagkakakulong. Is disqualified din yon. J. Those convicted for violation of the laws on terrorism, plunder, and transnational crimes. Ito yung mga crimes like bombing, stealing government funds, and etc. na related sa tatlong crime na nabanggit.
Dito sa notice of the offended party, in all cases when an inmate is being considered for executive clemency, the board shall notify the offended party, or in the event that the offended party is unavailable for comment or otherwise cannot be located, the immediate relatives of the offended party. So, it means dito, when the prisoner is being considered for executive clemency, tulad ng pardon o maikling sintensya from the president, kailangan mo nang i-notify ng Board of Pardons and Parole yung biktima ng krimen. At kung di na mahanap ng biktima or unavailable siya, ang immediate family niya ang kailangang sabihan. Pag na-inform na sila, may 30 days sila para mag-comment kung agree ba sila na bigyan ng clemency yung inmate or hindi. Pero kung sobrang urgent ang situation o mas makakabuti sa justice, pwedeng hindi na sila bigyan ng notice, basta kailangang i-explain ng BPP or Board of Pardon and Parole kung bakit nila hindi binigyan ng notice at ilalagay nila yon sa official resolution nila. Dito naman sa publication of the eligible for executive clemency parole, the board shall cause the publication in a newspaper of general circulation the names of prisoners convicted of heinous crime or those sentenced by final judgment to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment who may be considered for release on parole or for recommendation for absolute or conditional pardon. Dito naman, kapag may mga inmate na nakulong dahil sa heinous crime or another term of heinous crime is sobrang bigat or karumal-dumal na krimen like murder at rape, o kaya na sentensyahan ng reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment at sila ay posibleng i-considered for or i-recommend sa absolute or conditional pardon. Kailangan din i-publish ng BPP or Board of Pardon and Parole ang pangalan nila sa dyaryo na kilala at nababasa ng publiko, newspaper or general circulation. Purpose naman dito sa publication of those eligible for executive clemency parole is para alam ng publiko kung sino yung mga posibleng lumaya at may chance din ang mga tao, lalo na ang mga apektado na mag-react o magbigay ng comment kung gusto nila. Dito naman sa publication of names being considered for executive clemency, the board shall cause the publication once in a newspaper of national circulation the names of inmates who are being considered for executive clemency, provided, however, that in cases of those convicted of offenses punished with reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment by reason of Republic Act No. 9346, publication shall be once a week for 3 consecutive weeks. So dito, Kung may inmate na gustong bigyan ng executive clemency tulad ng pardon or bawasan ang sentensya, kailangan ilagay ang pangalan niya sa dyaryo. 2 types of publication. First, kung normal na kaso lang, isang beses lang ilalabas ang pangalan sa dyaryo. Yung pangalawa, kung ang kaso ay parusang reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment. Three times a week sa loob ng 3 weeks ilabas ang dyaryo. Ginagawa ito para malaman ng publiko at makakapag-send ng comment or objection kung ayaw nila bigyan ng clemency ang inmate. May 30 days mula sa date ng dyaryo para makapagpadala ng sulat sa board. Dito naman sa objection to petitions, when an object is filed, the board may consider the same by requesting the person objecting to attach thereto evidence in support thereof. In no case, however, shall an objection disqualify from executive clemency parallel to prisoner against whom the objection is filed. For me naman, for my explanation in this objection to petition, kapag may tumutol o kailangan may kasamang dahilan o ebidensya, hindi pwedeng basta tutol ang kailangan. Ipakita kung bakit hindi dapat patawarin or palayain yung inmate. Dito naman sa documents to be considered, the carpeta and prison record of the prisoner and other relevant documents such as the mittimus or commitment order, prosecutor's information, and trial appellate court's decision of the case of the prisoner shall be considered by the board in deciding whether or not to recommend executive clemency or to grant parole. Yung simple explanation ko lang dito naman ay ang mga documents like record ng kaso, decision ng korte at prison files ay tinitignan ng board para magdesisyon kung ipapasa ang clemency or parole ng inmate.
Factors to be considered in petition for conditional pardon. Commutation of sentence of parole. Employment after release. If the petitioner has a legitimate job offer or clear employment prospects, it shows they are ready to reintegrate into society and support themselves legally. B. A showing that the petitioner has place where he will reside. Place of reside. The person must show they have a stable and legal place to live after release. This ensures they won't be homeless or without supervision. Availability of aftercare service for the petitioner who is old, seriously ill, or suffering from physical disability. D. Aftercare service, especially for the elderly, sick, or physically disabled inmates, and availability of medical or community support services post-release is important of their well-being and successful reintegrations. D. Attitude toward the offense and the degree of remorse. Attitude and remorse. The board consider whether an inmate acknowledges their wrongdoing, shows genuine remorse, and has changed attitude with our signs of rehabilitations. The risk to other person, including the victim, his witnesses, his family and friends, or the community in general, the possibility of retaliation by the victim, his family and friends. And there is a risk to victim, witnesses, their families, or the communities. It could lead to denial of clemency or parole. Special factors. A. Youthful offenders. Youthful offenders Young age at the time of the crime may be seen as a sign of immaturity rather than malice. Prisoners who are 60 years old and above. Senior prisoners 60 years old and above. Older inmates may be considered less dangerous. Physical disability such as when the prisoner is. Disabilities, inmates who are blind, deaf, mute, bedridden, or physically disabled may be unable to cope in prison. Serious illness and other life-threatening disease as certified by a government physicians. Serious illness, life-threatening condition certified by a government doctor can justify early release. Those prisoners recommended for the grant of executive clemency by the trial, appellate court is stated in the decision. Court recommendations. If a court suggests clemency, it carries strong weight. Alien prisoners where diplomatic consideration and amity between nations necessitate review. Alien prisoners may be released due to diplomatic or humanitarian reasons. Circumstances which shows that his continued imprisonment will be inhuman or will pose a grave danger to the life of the prisoner or his co-inmates. Inhumanity or danger of continued imprisonment if staying in a prison endangers in the inmate or others. Such other similar or analogous circumstances whenever the interest of justice will be served thereby. Other similar circumstances, any situation where justice would be better served by release. Extraordinary circumstances. The board shall recommend to the President the grant of executive clemency when any of the following extraordinary circumstances are present. BPP Resolution Number 24410. The trial court or appellant court in its decision recommended the grant of executive clemency for the inmate. Court recommends clemency if the trial or appellant court explicitly recommends clemency in its decision. The board must give weight to its legal and judicial endorsement. Under the peculiar circumstances of the case, the penalty imposed is too harsh compared to the crime committed. Penalty is too harsh for the crime. In some cases, the sentence imposed is clearly excessive considering the actual offense. If the punishment is disproportionate to the crime, clemency may correct injustice. Evidence which the court failed to consider before conviction, which should have justified and acquittal the accused. Overlook evidence that could have led to acquittal. If there was critical evidence that the court failed to consider and that could have led to the acquittal of the accused, this becomes a strong ground for clemency. Inmates who were over 15 years but under 18 years of age at the time of the commission of the offense. The minor at the time of the crime. If the inmate was between 15 and 18 years old when the crime was committed, their youth and immaturity are taken into account as a basis for leniency. Inmates who are 70 years old and above, whose continued imprisonment is inimical to their health as recommended by a physician of. Inmates aged 70 and above, If the inmate is 7 years or older and their continued imprisonment is seen as harmful or unnecessary, clemency may be granted for humanitarian reasons.
Extraordinary circumstances. This is the continuation of Corpus King Leicester. F. Inmates who suffer from serious contagious or life-threatening illness, disease, or with severe physical disability, such as those who are totally blind, paralyzed, bedridden, etc., as recommended by a physician of the Bureau of Correction, hospital, and certified under oath by a physician designated by the Department of Health. So, pasok ito sa extraordinary circumstances as recommended by a physician of the Bureau of Correction and certified by a physician designated by the Department of Health. Pasok ito sa extraordinary circumstances kapag malubha na yung sakit mo at kapag blind, paralyzed at bedridden ka na, is pwede kang mabigyan ng special treatment at pwede ka nilang i-release ng mas maaga. G. Alien inmates where diplomatic consideration and amity among nations necessitate review. So dito sa G, yung alien na tinatawag dito is ito yung mga foreigner. Kapag example dito is isang foreigner sa US is nakagawa ng crime dito sa Pilipinas. Kapag daw yung prisoner ng foreigner ay prisoner na galing sa US is may kinalaman ito sa magandang ugnayan ng ating bansa, is pag-aaralan daw nila yung case niya at pwedeng bigyan nila ng special treatment upang sa ganon is yung Pilipinas at US is maganda pa rin yung ugnayan nila. Age. Such other similar or analogous circumstances whenever the interest of justice will be served thereby. So maliban daw dito sa extra circumstances na nakalagay at iba pang similar situation na pwedeng i-consider that would help serve justice. Meetings of the Board of Pardon and Parole. The Board shall meet in executive session regularly or upon the call of the chairman. Sabi dito, ang committee or Board of Pardon and Parole is ito yung mga tao na may kapangyarihan na magdesisyon sa mga kaso ng parole. Ang pagpupulong nila or meeting ay private at nangyayari ito regularly kapag nagpapatawag ang chairman of board. Kaya tinawag na executive session kasi ang pwede lang dumalo sa meeting is yung mga member ng committee na nagbibigay lang ng opinion regarding sa kung pwede ba nila bigyan ng parole ang isang tao na nakagawa ng crime. Quorum. As provided by the rule, the majority of all the members of the board shall constitute a quorum. Yung quorum is ito yung minimum member to be present. Minimum number of members to be present in a meeting or assembly for the group to make decision or take official action. Yun yung tinatawag na quorum. So, dito sa quorum, ito yung ang parts dito is yung mga organization, mga board, and mga committees, ganon. Dito sa quorum, it says that, and provided by the rule na dapat daw present yung board or committee para maging valid yung decision, kasi kapag hindi kompleto or kulang ang pumuntang member ng committee is magiging invalid or not official yung decision nila. Board actions. A majority of the members of the board continuing a quorum shall be necessarily to do the following action. A. To recommend the grant of executive clemency or to grant parole. Ang executive clemency is ito yung pagpapatawad mula sa government na nagpaparelease sa isang tao mula sa mga kasong napinpin or matagal na. Ang parole naman ay ito yung pag-release sa isang preso based sa kanyang good behavior at pagsisisi sa kanyang nagawang crime. Dito is sa A is magpapasya yung mga committee kung deserve ba ng clemency o parole ang isang tao na nag-commit ng crime. B. To modify any of the terms and condition appearing in a release document to order the arrest and recommitment of a pardonee and pardon. B. So, dito sabi naman is, kapag binigyan ng parole or pardon ang isang tao, is may mga dapat din siyang sundin. Gaya ng mag-report sa autoridad at least once a month, ganon. Dapat hindi niya ginagawa yung mga pinagbabawal na gawain. Kasi kapag ang parole ay hindi sumunod sa anumang alinmang rules, is pwedeng mawala at arestin at ibalik sa kulungan. C. To issue certificate of final release and discharge to a parole or pardonee. Dito sa C, kung ang isang parole o pardonee ay kompleto na sa lahat ng requirements at wala nang reason para ibalik siya sa kulungan, ang committee ay magbibigay ng certificate of bibigyan siya ng certificate of final release and discharge. Ang certificate of final release and discharge is, ang certificate na ito yung nagpapatunay na ang isang tao na nakakumit ng crime ay ganap ng malaya mula sa lahat ng kondisyon ng parole at pardon at hindi na kailangan sumunod pa sa anumang kondisyon.
Executive clemency parole for an alien. The board may recommend the grant of executive clemency or grant parole to a prisoner who is an alien. In such a case, the alien who is released on parole or pardon shall be referred to the Bureau of Immigration for disposition, documentation, and appropriate action. So, para sa isang dayuhan or alien, maaaring i-rekomenda ng board ang pagbibigay ng executive clemency, pagpapatawad o parol or pansamantalang paglaya sa isang bilanggo na dayuhan. Kapag napalaya na ang dayuhan sa pamamagitan ng parol o pardon, siya ay re-refer sa Bureau of Immigration para sa nararapat na documentation at action. Parole supervision. After release from confinement, a client shall be placed under the supervision of a probation and parole officer so that the former may be guided and assisted towards rehabilitation. The period of parole supervision shall extend up to the expiration of the expiration of the maximum sentence, which should appear in the release document subject to the provisions of Section 6 of Act number 4103 with respect to the early grant of final release and discharge. So, pagkatapos ng paglaya, ang parole ay lalagay sa ilalim ng supervision ng isang probation and parole officer upang magabayan siya sa rehabilitation. Ang panahon ng supervision ay tatagal hanggang sa matapos ang maximum na sentensya na nakasaad sa release document, ngunit maaring mapabilis ang final release and discharge ayon sa Section 6 ng Act No. 4103. Form of release document. The form of the release document shall be prescribed by the board and shall contain the latest 1-by-1 photograph and right thumbprint of the prisoner. Ang format ng release document ay tatakda ng board at dapat naglalaman ng pinakabagong 1-by-1 na litrato at kanang hinlalaking fingerprint ng bilanggo. Transmittal of release document. The board shall send the copy of the release document to the prisoner named therein through the director of correction or warden of the jail where he is confined, who shall send a certification of the actual date of release of prisoner to the probation and parole officer. So, ipapadala ng board ng release document sa bilanggo sa pamamagitan ng director of correction o warden ng kulungan kung saan siya nakakulong. Sila ang magpapadala ng sertifikasyon ng aktual na petsa ng paglaya sa probation and parole officer. Initial report. Within the period prescribed in his release document, the prisoner shall present himself to the probation and parole officer specified in the release document for supervision. If within 45 days
from the date of release from prison or jail, the parolee or pardonee concerned still fails to report, the probation and parole officer shall inform the board of such failure for appropriate action. So, sa loob ng itinakdang panahon sa kanyang release document, ang bilanggo ay kailangan magpakita sa probation and parole officer para sa supervision. Kung hindi naman siya magpapakita ng 45 days mula sa petsa ng paglaya, ang probation and parole officer ay kailangan ipaalam ito sa board para sa karapatang aksyon. Arrival report. The probation and parole officer concerned shall inform the board through the technical service, parole and probation. Administration the date the client reported for supervision not later than 15 working days therefrom. Ang probation and parole officer ay kailangan ipagbigay alam sa board sa pamamagitan ng technical service ng parole and probation administration. Ang petsa ng pag-uulat ng kliyente dapat hindi lumagpas ng 15 days mula nang siya ay mag-report. Mandatory condition of supervision. The terms and conditions stated or appearing in the release document shall be mandatory for a client to comply. So, ang mandatory na mga condition ng supervision, ang lahat ng condition na nakasaad sa release document ay obligadong sundin ng mga kliyente. Review and modification of condition. The board may, upon the recommendation of the probation and parole officer, revise or modify the terms and condition appearing in the release document. Maaring baguhin o rebisahin ng board ng mga condition ito kung irekomenda ng probation and parole officer. Transfer of residence of the client. A client may not transfer from the place of residence designated in his release document without the prior written approval of the regional director subject to the confirmation by the board. So, ang paglipat naman ng tirahan ng kliyente, hindi maaaring lumipat ng kliyente ng tirahan mula sa nakakasaad sa release document kung walang paunang pahintulot ng regional director at kumpirmasyon ng board. Outside travel of a client. A chief probation and parole officer may authorize client to travel outside this area of operational jurisdiction for a period of not more than 30 days. A travel for more than 30 days shall be approved by the regional director. So, maaring paintulutan ng chief probation ng parole officer ang kliyente na bumiyahe sa labas ng kanyang nasasakupan ng hanggang 30 days. Kung lalagpas dito, kailangan ng pag-aproban ng regional director.
So this is my rapid explanation of parole and related procedures. Number 1, travel or work abroad while on parole. If you are on parole or have been given a pardon and are still under supervision, you can apply to travel or work abroad as long as you do not have any pending criminal case in court. However, you cannot just leave immediately. You must first apply for permission. So, and this application must be approved by administrator and confirmed by the board in charge of parole and pardons. So, example of this, if you are on parole and want to work in other country, you need to get official approval from the authorities before you can leave. If you leave without permission, you could be violating your parole conditions. And then number 2, death of client under supervision. If a person under parole or pardon supervision dies, the probation and parole officer or PPO must quickly send a certificate copy of that certificate to the board and recommend closing the case. And if there is no death certificate available yet, an affidavit, a sworn statement from the barangay chairman, an authorized officer, or a close relative describing the death is enough for the meantime. So, example of this, if a parolee passes away at home and the family cannot get that that certificate right away, the barangay chairman can write and sign affidavit explaining how and when the person died. So the case can be proceed. And number three, about infraction or violation of parole terms. If a parolee commits another crime while on parole and the case is still in court, not yet decided, the PPO must submit a progress report to the board. If the parolee is found guilty of a new crime, the PPO submits an infraction report to the board. So this is a formal report about the violation. Example for this is if a parolee is caught stealing while on parole and the case is still being tried, the PPO must inform the board with a progress report. If the parolee is convicted, an infraction report is submitted. So example, so that's the example for this about infraction violation of parole terms. So next is arrest and recommitment. After receiving an infraction report, the board can order the arrest or recommitment or return to prison of the parolee. If the parolee is recommitted, they must serve the remaining part of their original sentence. So example, if a parolee violates parole by committing a new crime and is convicted, the board can send them back to the prison to finish the rest of their sentence. Next is cancellation of pardon or parole. The board can recommend cancelling a pardon or parole if it finds out the person gave false or incomplete information or hid important facts either before or after being released. So example, if a parolee lied about their criminal history or hid information during the application, the board can cancel their parole. Next is review for the new parole. So if a parolee is recommitted to prison, the board may consider granting new parole after the person has served at least 1/4 of the remaining sentence. Next, termination of parole and conditional pardon supervision. When the parolee or pardonee finishes the maximum sentence and has followed all conditions, the board, upon recommendation from the Chief Probation and Parole Officer, will issue a certificate of final release and discharge. So sometimes the certificate can be given before the sentence ends if the parolee has shown good behavior and met all requirements. So next, effect of certificate of final release and discharge. Once this certificate is issued, the parolee or pardonee is officially released from all conditions of their parole or pardon. However, in any additional penalties like being banned from holding public office that were not especially removed will still apply. And the last, transmittal of certificate. The board will send a certificate of copy of copy of certificate of final release and discharge to all relevant authorities: the court, the supervising PPO, the client, the Bureau of Corrections, the National Bureau of Investigations, the Philippine National Police, and also the Office of the President. Thank you.